5 straight years, the Quakers of Pennsylvania have climbed to the top of the Ivy League, climaxed by their undefeated season in 1986. They did it with winners like these. Tim Chambers, number 22, named Ivy League Player of the Year in 1984. Tom Gilmore, number 79, Ivy League Player of the Year in 1985. Tom was also honored as a College Football Hall of Fame scholar athlete from among all of the collegiate players in the country. Rich Camizio, number 40, was Ivy League Rookie of the Year in his sophomore season, Ivy League Player of the Year as a senior, and a first-team academic All-American. Marty Peterson, number 76, was an offensive tackle on the 1986 Coach's First-Team All-America and was nominated for a Football Foundation and Hall of Fame scholarship. Chris Flynn, number 27, earned Ivy League Rookie of the Year honors in 1985 and was first-team All-Ivy as a junior. Winners such as these enable the University of Pennsylvania to demonstrate that winning football is compatible with winning academics. Their program prepares people to be winners in their careers, as well as on the field and in the classroom. University President Sheldon Hackney is a strong proponent of Penn football.
When Pennsylvanians get together to talk about Penn football, they frequently bring up names from our storied past. Chuck Bednarik, John Outland, John Heisman, and other greats from the past. Our tradition, our winning tradition, goes back to the late 19th century. But it's not just history. We're very proud of the Ivy League championships that we've won in the recent years, and we hope to keep that tradition going. I like to think that our winning tradition here has to do not just with intercollegiate athletics and football, but also with the fact that we provide each student here the opportunity to realize their full potential.
In 1986, Ed Zubrow took over as head coach of a program that had produced 4 consecutive Ivy League championships. He and his staff guided the 1986 Quakers to Penn's first undefeated season since 1904.
I think that football at Pennsylvania and football in the Ivy League is really unique. It's unique because it really is the best brand of purely amateur football that you can find anywhere in the country today. It's amateur because nobody's playing because they have to. Nobody has a scholarship at stake. Players play because they want to play. And our job as coaches is to make playing football a fun experience and also an educational one. At the same time, we're playing a good competitive brand of football against Division I opponents. And that's what leads to the excitement and the unique nature of Pennsylvania football. When we recruit a prospect, we're looking for a lot more than just his height, weight, 40 time, and how many all-star teams he's made. We're looking for winners. Winners to us are people who love to play the game of football and play it hard, whether it's at practice or during a game. We're looking for people who are going to compete on Franklin Field, but who are also going to go into the classroom and compete. We're looking for people who want to be the best that they can be.
As recruiting coordinator before becoming head coach, Ed Zubrow was instrumental in persuading many of those winners to come to Penn. For example, John McGeehan, All-Ivy quarterback in 1984, remembers how it felt to play in Franklin Field. He's now an account executive with a Philadelphia advertising firm.
Well, I came from a high school where we would maybe have 150, 200 people at a game, most of those being parents. And the first time I ran out onto Franklin Field with 30 or 40,000 people there screaming and noise reverberating through that horseshoe, it's an incredible experience. It's almost overwhelming. And it's also quite an ego trip to be playing there. The experience isn't the same in any of the other stadiums that I've played in my college career.
In 1895, Franklin Field was just that, a field with some wooden bleachers. As it evolved through the years, a single-level brick horseshoe was built, then an upper deck added. Today, it is one of the finest sports facilities anywhere. It is the best place in the country to watch a collegiate football game. In 1983, David Smith, number 72, was not only a starting defensive end, he was senior class president. he had more reasons than football for coming to Penn.
Coming to the University of Pennsylvania, I had the opportunity to go to the Wharton School, which is the premier business school in the country. And at the same time, I had the opportunity to play football on a competitive level, something that I always wanted to do. Personally, though, my greatest thrill would have to be the Penn-Princeton homecoming game my senior year, in which I sacked quarterback Doug Butler with 3 seconds left on the clock to win that homecoming game my senior year. I'll always remember that game.
Big victories come from Quaker players dedicating themselves to being in the best possible physical condition when the first whistle blows for preseason practice. For most of them, the weight room tucked away under the stands at Franklin Field becomes their off-season home away from home. All-America tackle Marty Peterson is one of the faithful.
Here it's like, all right, I get to work out today. That's what I'm looking forward to right now. I just finished the exam. I had a lot of studying to do for it. I haven't been able to lift for 3 days. I'm looking forward to getting up there. Every little thing you do helps. You know, if you get a little stronger, you know, even the weights up, you get a little quicker. Everything you do helps. And that is also one of the things that put us at the top.
With the 1986 season about to open and 12 starters gone through graduation, new head coach Zubrow and his staff face the challenge laid down by their predecessors. Bring home a record-tying 5th straight Ivy League championship. Ed Zubrow's football philosophy is simple and straightforward.
We like to think of our style of football as an aggressive, wide-open, attacking style. We look at Saturday as fun day. Games should be fun. We're not going to sit back and let people come after us. We're going to attack on defense. We're going to attack on offense. We also hope to be a very flexible team. We don't recruit athletes to fit a preconceived notion or style of football. We're going to recruit the best available athletes, and we're going to play the best available athletes, and then tailor the X's and O's, tailor the strategies to the things they do best. We'd like to prepare game plans which put our athletes in a position where they can be successful. We'd like to have a style of play that's fun, exciting, fun to watch, also fun to participate in.
Born to run would be a good description of the 1986 Quakers. They ran by Dartmouth with 253 yards on the ground. Bucknell succumbed to a 282-yard rushing attack, with Rich Comizio, number 40, contributing 175 yards. Against Columbia, Chris Flynn, number 27, led the ground troops to a 333-yard day with 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. In their meeting with Brown, a team that figured to be one of their toughest Ivy opponents, the Red and Blue rolled up 314 rushing yards. Comizio and Flynn each carried for more than 100 yards in the 34-0 shutout. While the Quaker backs were running wild, the hustling, aggressive defense played a major role in Penn's 4-0 start. Mike Lista, Brad Hippensteel, Bruce McConnell, and Rick Inskeep spearheaded a swarming defense that smothered enemy runners and harried the passers. Only one of Penn's first 4 opponents was able to get more than 50 yards rushing. They got 65. In the first 4 games, no one was able to cross the Quaker goal line on the ground. In the 5th week of the season, the Quakers risked their perfect record against a Division 1A team, the Midshipmen of Navy. As the Middies march into the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, they are listed as 19-point favorites. Ed Zubrow, his staff and players are the only people who think Penn will win. In spite of a strong defensive effort by the Quakers, Navy takes a 7-0 first quarter lead. The next time the Middies get the ball, Jeff Fortney intercepts a Bill Byrne pass to give the Red and Blue offense a chance. Jim Krochickia has spent most of his time so far this season handing off to his tailbacks. But today he's going overhead. Ken Saunders catches a pass for a first down. Another Krochickia pass, this one a screen pass to Rich Comizio, puts Penn within field goal range. Jim Grass delivers a 42-yard placement through the uprights as the Quakers keep it close. Navy leads 13-3 in the third quarter, but that tough Penn defense asserts itself as Jim Fangmeyer intercepts and returns 16 yards. It's 4th and 1 at the 7, but Krochickia goes for the whole thing. He hits Brett Novoselsky for the touchdown. With the conversion, it's 13-10. Navy gets that one back and is looking for more in the final period. But Mike Henley foils a third down pass and the Middies have to punt. Krochickia is having his best day as a passer. Chris Flynn drives into Navy territory with this one. Third down and 14 to go from the Navy 39. Krochickia and Novoselsky get together again for a 39-yard touchdown. A beautiful sight for the thousands of Penn rooters who made the trip to Annapolis. To paraphrase a great naval hero, the Quakers have just begun to fight. Comizio is out with an injury, and Chris Flynn has been playing every down since the beginning of the second quarter. Flynn is giving the Navy fits with his running, pass catching, and returning punts and kickoffs. But the big play combination is Jim Krochickia to Brent Novoselsky. Here they go again to make it goal to go on the Navy 5. From the 3, Krochickia looks for his big tight end and finds him for the touchdown. The Never Say Die Quakers have come from behind to take a 23-20 lead over heavily favored Navy with 2:32 left in the game. Jim Grass kicks off for Pennsylvania. A Navy player takes it and tries the lateral, but Bill Coggle snaps up the fumbled attempt to put the red and blue on the Navy 30. Navy holds for 2 downs, and it's 3rd and 9. Krochickia passes to Jim Bruni for the touchdown. Penn has scored twice in a space of 33 seconds to put the game out of reach, and the Quakers have their 5th straight victory. This victory meant a lot more than just win number 5. Tackle Marty Peterson puts it in context.
As soon as the whistle blew at Navy, we had it in our hearts. We were going 10-0. Navy might have been, ability-wise, a better team than us. And we just got by on guts and heart and defeated Navy.
The victory over Navy and the 5-0 record make the following week's annual homecoming celebration all the sweeter. The alumni pour in from all over the country, and the University of Pennsylvania's beautiful campus is one big pregame party. Game time nears and the season's biggest crowd begins to file into the stadium, the coaching staff is hoping that the team will continue the improvement they showed against Navy and set the tone for the rest of the season. One thing is certain, The enthusiasm of the student body, the alumni, and the other Penn fans who flock to Franklin Field for the home games has its effect. The Quakers have not lost an Ivy League game at home since 1981. This kind of support is unmatched at any other Ivy League campus. Penn shows no sign of a letdown against Yale. With Rich Comizio seeing limited action, Chris Flynn takes up the slack. Flynn contributes 124 yards to Penn's 192-yard total on the ground, in addition to running back punts and kickoffs. The Quakers put the ball in the end zone on their first possession, and the outcome of the game is never in doubt, which suits the huge homecoming crowd just fine.
He's class of 50, I'm class of 1952. And this is a tradition at Penn. We all come out here at halftime and kind of participate once again.
The main reason the crowd has nothing to worry about is the outstanding play of the defense, holding Yale to 2 field goals and giving the offense good field position throughout most of the game. In the second half, the Penn defenders, led by Brad Hines, Jeff Fortna, John Galick, and A.J. Sebastianelli, allow Yale just 4 first downs. Never 2 in a row. Kelly Ryan, a dangerous passer, is kept in check by the Penn rushers and pass defenders. Yale becomes the 5th of Penn's first 6 opponents to fail to move the ball as much as 100 yards on the ground.
On the trips, we're checking 2 now. All right?
The new coaching staff has molded a truly great red and blue squad.
As head coach, I'm most proud of the staff that we've assembled at Pennsylvania. They're professionals, they're teachers, they're motivators, they're fine tacticians, but most importantly, they genuinely care about the development of each player they coach. They reflect the strength of our program. They're an outstanding group of people to work with.
Okay, so you go ahead and widen then, and you try to run. It's almost like a search type of thing, Bruce.
Okay, that's a way to get him in and out.
The encouraging thing to the coaching staff is the fact that the Penn passing game finally achieves perfect balance with the running attack, 192 yards each. Wide receiver Ken Saunders completes a 42-yard pass play for the longest aerial gain of the day to set up a second-half Penn touchdown. Rob Andrews, the other wide receiver, contributes 3 catches to the cause. Prochikia has plenty of willing receivers. Brent Novoselsky is a big target. Chris Flynn adds pass catching to his list of accomplishments against Yale. Jim Bruni has been spelling Flynn at tailback, and he carries into the end zone for Penn's final tally in a big 24-6 victory. The happy homecoming crowd has watched the Quakers dominate Yale for their 6th straight win of the 1986 season, their 5th in a row over the Elis.
football team.
Thank you, Coach.
Good luck the rest of the way.
You too. Win them all.
Good luck next year.
Good luck this year, Coach.
Thank you.
With 4 games to go, all of Penn's rushing records are in jeopardy. Against Princeton, the Red and Blue rolls up 300 yards on the ground in a 23-10 win. In a 42-14 victory over Lafayette, Rich Comizio carries for 132 yards to become Penn's all-time career rushing leader and shares the game ball with co-captain Steve Bonato, the leader of the hard-charging offensive line. Harvard proves to be Penn's toughest Ivy opposition, but this is the last home game for the seniors, and Harvard is the only Ivy League team ever to beat them. They aren't about to let this one get away. It's another record day for Rich Comizio as he sets a new single-season rushing standard which will reach 1,104 yards. Chris Flynn also becomes a record breaker with a new single-season mark for all-purpose rushing. His final total, 1,620 yards. Harvard makes it close at 17-10, but the defense comes to the rescue with a key sack by A.J. Sebastianelli as the Crimson tries to drive for the tying score. The defeat of Harvard sets the stage for a battle of unbeaten Ivy League teams as Penn meets Cornell at Ithaca in the final game of the season. The Quakers wouldn't have it any other way.
We were rooting for Cornell all throughout the season to build up the tension and to face the challenge. For us, you know, we had won 4 championships before that, so we've been involved in tough games like that.
The Quakers arrive at Cornell determined to make their last day together as a team a memorable one. Snow and slush are no deterrent. They expect to go home with an undefeated season and the Ivy League championship. Cornell with the ball. Jeff Fortna leads a fierce defensive charge, but the Big Red posts the first score for a 7-0 lead. Now it's Penn's turn. The footing is treacherous, but Jim Krochickia gets his pass away to Scott Scungio for a 39-yard gain. Jim Grass caps a 57-yard drive with a perfect placement, and the Quakers are closer at 7-3. The Penn defense has been outstanding all season. They put the pressure on Marty Stallone, and Jeff Fortna intercepts. Jeff gets to the Cornell 15. Chris Flynn breaks loose around the left side and drives to make it 1st and goal to go on the 5. Krochickia and Scott Scungio hook up for the touchdown to give Penn its second score in a little over 2 minutes. Jim Grass's conversion makes it 10-7, Pennsylvania. The Red and Blue defenders keep Cornell in check throughout the second quarter. Mike Lista sacks Marty Stallone to stall a Big Red drive. Penn is showing a balanced attack. With Comizio carrying, the ground troops rack up an 18-yard gain to touch off a 75-yard drive. Krochickia passes to Jim Miklos at the sideline, and Miklos waltzes in for a 31-yard touchdown. The Quakers take a 17-7 lead into the locker room at halftime. Cornell scores first in the third quarter and trails by only 3 points as Penn gets going with Rich Comizio carrying the ball. Here he goes again, and this time he's touchdown bound. 39 yards. only to get the biggest hit of the day from one of his teammates. Cornell makes it close again in the final period, but once again the Penn defense rises to the occasion. It's a fantastic interception by James Fangmeyer to kill a Big Red drive. Chris Flynn gets some insurance with a beautiful 39-yard touchdown run, and the Quakers move out to a 31-21 lead. Flynn's 10th TD of the season makes him the Ivy League's 1986 scoring leader. The Penn defense shuts down Cornell for the rest of the game to nail down the win. The Quaker coaches have shaped this defensive unit into an unbeatable combination. They finished the season first in the Ivy League and second in the entire country in total defense. Pennsylvania goes undefeated and untied for the first time in 82 years for its 5th consecutive Ivy League championship. Head coach Zubrow and his staff rack up a perfect season on their first try, and that's the first time that's ever been done at Penn. The accomplishments of the 1986 Red and Blue, both as individuals and as a team, will require a wholesale revision of the record book. The Quakers were named ECAC Team of the Year with Holy Cross, as they became the first team in Ivy history to win 3 straight championships outright. To do this, they won 21 of their last 22 Ivy League games, and they have been undefeated in 17 straight Ivy contests at Franklin Field. The 1986 seniors turned out to be the most successful class in Ivy League history, with a record of 20-1 in league play. The list of honors and records goes on, and it makes one thing clear. The men who wear the red and blue for Penn were winners when they came here, and they in turn have made the University of Pennsylvania a winner. They have put 1986 into the books as a high point in the history of football at Pennsylvania.